Hey, but let me I gotta do this reaction real quick. So literally like it's probably last night or 2 nights ago. The Player's Choice tag on Twitter dropped a clip. It was like 3 minutes. I'm not gonna play the entire thing, but long story short, it was Kevin Durant versus Nikola Jokic. Has Kevin Durant ever been as good offensively as Nikola Jokic?
Was KD ever as good as Joker offensively at any point in his career?
No. He's never had the ability to pass.
Hold on, Swipe.
Hold on, Swipe. Who are you asking? That's a general question.
Oh, now he doesn't have the ability to pass?
To the level of Jokic.
Let Ron had to get what he wanted to.
He's hypocrite.
To the panel.
No, I think Jokic is a better offensive player than KD.
Yeah, I don't think there was a point. I don't think there was a point where KD has gotten to the.
But I'm higher on Jokic's offense than most. So
I am too. Swiper, do you think that that Joker clears KD as an offensive player, even at his best?
Yes, I think Joker has proven that he can score. Yeah, again, we're real talk. Let him answer. Let him explain why clear is crazy.
No, you go ahead.
You
wait.
Was you just about to say Jokic is the better scorer? Was you just about to say Jokic is the better scorer?
He was, yeah. You have to justify your words.
No,
you get on the mic.
No, because I heard.
Okay, so as you can hear, all that fucking chaos that's about to ensue. It then followed up with Kevin Durant posting or replying the next day. I need to come lay my verse on this pod. It would go plat, right? For you old heads, plat is platinum. Okay. Shout out to Real Talk, another Houston nigga. He actually makes Houston niggas look competent. He said Swiper talking crazy on you. I couldn't let that happen. For the record, I personally feel like KD is not the overall offensive player that Nikola Jokic is, but that's just me. But then some dude named K decided to cockblock or something and just came out of nowhere. Was like, nah, don't do it. This pod has no viewers like that. The only reason you saw this was because they always mention your name. The fan base is minuscule. They say dumb shit to get the people going like Kanye. They don't have the actual knowledge of anything. KD replied, oh, I bet. Well, never mind then. Fans say that rage baiters looking to pay bills. You right. I'll pass. That's good consulting there, brother. So let's stop there. The nigga wasn't wrong. He just didn't tell the full truth. I understand some of the outrage with like niggas saying that niggas just randomly hating on the channel and I think I saw Damo post a little short talking about the situation and him basically saying that niggas, the hate is getting crazy or a little weird with Player's Choice.
Alright, so boom. You know what really grinds my gears? Unnecessary hate. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a self-proclaimed hater. I hate with the best of them. I can respect good hate. Don't get me wrong. But this shit is weird. Kevin Durant puts out a tweet basically replying to something on Player's Choice. Shout out Player's Choice. And for whatever reason, this guy right here, this clown, I'm not about to give him no type of shine. I'm not about to have his whole name there. But this clown tweets this. You can read it in your own time. I'm not reading for you niggas. And then, you know, KD replies with this. Come on, gang. I'm actively in the Twitter space right now, listening to people discuss why people may hate on Player's Choice, what's with the hate, this, that, and the third. I'm not gonna hold you. You niggas is weird. You niggas is weird, man. Leave Player's Choice and them alone. Kevin Durant gives them a shout, want to go on the show. That's a W for the platform and everybody involved, bro. That's a W for the basketball community. And Player's Choice is one of the best, in my opinion, in the basketball space right now, especially with giving opportunities to new up-and-coming content creators, streamers, whatever the case may be. Shout out Player's Choice. Y'all stop the hate. That shit's weird.
I disagree. And I feel like the reason why I disagree is primarily due to the years upon years of the Player's Choice fake talk be capping is crazy. Fake talk is crazy. But I feel like the reason why I disagree is primarily because of the years upon years of, because this would be like 4 years that I've been following Players Choice, or 5 years that I've been following Players Choice. Players Choice has always had a knack for saying outrageous things and then somehow like forming it to make sense for them. And for the people upon the community, because they like Players Choice, because we love Mars so much, because we like the person that Ticket was before he left, because we like the person that Chilltown is, we'll let the shit slide, or we'll find a reason to accept their reasons to be like, okay, that makes sense. But to the outside community of basketball, a lot of this shit that they say is very, very odd. Very odd. Especially the way in which they form their statements. So that's crazy. But going back to this situation, the gentleman is sitting there saying, "No, don't do it. This pod has no viewers." And to some degree, it makes sense why he would say that. However, I think what gets missed in this whole situation is Players' Choice is phenomenal when it comes to ingratiating NBA players. I think Sturdy can speak to this as well. The Players' Choice community and the Players' Choice as terms of the panel is very good with ingratiating themselves with stars. This is the same podcast that is synonymous with giving Jason Williams a platform for him to be able to voice his memories, his time in the NBA, and all they did was produce great conversations. This is also a platform that also gave opportunities to people like Chilltown to be able to give his stories of his time with his cousin Shaquille O'Neal in the league, his time refereeing, and being able to talk about, you know, his life as a hooper. Dale James is also a professional hooper, which, by the way, they also said in the chat as a reply to Kevin Durant. Not true. Dale James can confirm it. It is true. Dale James definitely can confirm, because Dale James is a pillar of the Players' Choice community. So is Shaq. They also gave a platform to Mike James to say the bullshit he said, which, by the way, a lot of people put that on Players' Choice. That wasn't Players' Choice that made Mike James say that dumb shit about Stephen Curry. Like that wasn't them. That Mike James said that. Like, at some point, you're a fucking adult. Like, come on now. But what the crazy part isn't the fact that they had this situation. The crazy part is what followed after that. Because after doing a little looking into who this dude is, this is the same dude who, after getting cock blocking the Players' Choice community from being able to be graced with Kevin Durant's presence, this is the same dude who posted a video, who we can't see, but it was a video highlighting Kevin Durant in his past age of being 26, 27. Now he's 36. And he's asking him to watch this. Look how you used to get to the rim, Euro stepping, dunking, all that. You barely dunk once a game now. You settle for jump shots all the time. This is where you need to be next season. Remember your old winning ways, because this new age soft shit you on is bullshit. So the same dude who cock blocked Kevin Durant from being able to get his word out in front of a different community, because the Players' Choice community is not like other basketball communities. This is a whole different space, who they're actually open to having a conversation about Kevin Durant. With Kevin Durant, about what his scoring does for the game of basketball, or what his scoring does on the basketball court in terms of shifting the defense. And I promise you, they can have way more advanced of a conversation than the shit that comes out of this nigga. This nigga's talking about, I'm going to keep watching and keep on your soft ass, because at the end of the day, you my favorite player till the wheels fall off. But you develop some bullshit tendencies mentally, post Achilles, and the real fans like me see it and point it out. So don't act like you a bitch. Take the criticism and move on. This the shit that KD co-signed. Not necessarily on his own accord, but because he just wanted to interact with niggas. He just wanted to interact with niggas on Twitter. And then the conversation continued where he's asking him what tendencies. And the gentleman says this is Twitter, so I can't say so much, and I think that points to like the limit that they have on like the amount of characters you could type in a message. And he was like, but one, you used to dictate what the defense did, but now the defense actually has an effect on you, and they can dictate what you do on the court. And the clip above, you tiered a prime Golden State Warriors defense apart and time again. That's false. Let's go here. This is last season. He's playing in an era that is predominantly dominated by the 3-point shot, and he manages to shoot. Let me go here. Yeah, go here. Durant. Here we go. The majority of the shots that he took were outside of restricted area and long twos. He took top of the key threes, primarily trailing, doing trail and fast break threes. But majority of the work that he was putting on teams were in the mid range. I want you guys to use your basketball brains. Let's use the thinking cap. All right. If I'm operating primarily here and here, keep in mind the defense mainly operates with the interior in mind, because the main thing you don't want to give up is the most efficient shot in basketball, which if you guys can look at all of these league averages, because that's what LA means, league average, the highest percentage by far is at the rim. And that's because the easiest shot for you to be able to knock down is at the rim. It's a layup. So if they're operating primarily with this in mind, and KD is right here, doesn't that mean that he's in the teeth of the defense for the majority of of his duration on the court? And so if that is the case, even if we got to say he doesn't put as much pressure on the rim as he once did, the fact that he's still in the next best area, which is right outside of the restricted area, and taking long twos, which are highly difficult shots, by the way, and yet he knocks it down at a plus 12% clip. How can you utter out of your mouth that he doesn't put pressure on the defense? Or, because I don't think he said he doesn't put pressure. I think he said he doesn't put as much pressure as he does on the rim. But how can you utter they dictate what you do on the court? How do they dictate what he do on the court when he's taking the shot that he's been taking practically all his career? He was doing it in OKC off of pin downs. He was taking long twos and shots within and outside of a restricted area. When he went to Golden State, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, part of what made that offense so generational was the fact that Steph and Klay could be able to operate on the 3-point line while KD was doing the same shit he was doing in OKC, going to the long twos off of pin downs and getting within and right outside of the restricted area. Goes to the Brooklyn Nets. His mobility is not what it once was, how yet he's still taking players off of the dribble, having multiple instances of taking them off the dribble to take long twos, shots right outside of the restricted area. And even in Phoenix, while Devin Booker is primarily adhering to KD's strengths, so he's operating on the 3-point line, KD is once again within stationary, granted, within and right outside of the restricted area as a high to low post player. So how can you say that they're dictating what he wants to do? No, KD is just that fucking good to where KD can do whatever the fuck he wants, and he can confuse you to believing that he's doing what the defense wants him to do. That's what KD meant when he said, I disagree with your take. Because in actuality, KD is doing what he's always done, for better or for worse. It ain't the defense that's dictating what he wants to do. He just wants to fucking do it. And if you have a problem with him, like I do, with him taking it upon himself to reduce his game to that, we can have a conversation about that. But that ain't what you said. But then it gets to a point where the dude is, if you think forcefully getting to your spot and putting up a highly contested shot a pass out of a double is you dictating anything, then you've become more blinded than I thought, because that's what teams want you to do. And it's been working for the past 2 years when it really counts. And to a certain degree, I see where it's coming from. However, that is not the defense deciding what KD wants to do. Once again, that's KD deciding, I want to pass out of this double team because I want to be a team player. I want to pass out of this double team because why would I take this tough shot when there's an open player that I could be able to direct the pass to? That's KD making that choice. And KD taking highly contested shots is nothing new. KD has always been one of the league's best when it comes to tough shot makes. And the only way you take tough shots is if they're fucking contested. You think niggas just take tough shots by taking open looks and they just take one leg for no reason? You think KD did that shit for no reason? Well, sometimes he did. But you think he just does that for shits and giggles for the majority of the occasions? No. That's because the defense is contesting it. But he prefers it that way because he's a bucket getter. That's what all bucket getters get very much praise and their flowers for. When Kobe was doing it, we ain't had no issue with it. We praised him for it because he's knocking it down. Same thing with Curry. Same things with KD. Nigga, if I can make the shit, why the fuck wouldn't I do it? Now, him settling for the shit is a whole different conversation. However, that has been the issue with him for the majority of his career, even before the Achilles tear. And then he asks him, hold on, let me correct my grammar. He asks him, you got any solutions or all you got is criticisms? And the gentleman doesn't reply. You know why he doesn't reply? Because he don't got nothing to state. He has nothing to provide to this conversation. He has nothing to provide to this conversation. But I do. Going into this season with the Houston Rockets, I do expect Ime Udoka to sort of be very predictable on the offensive sets because, to put it frank, Ime Udoka is he's not an offensive coach. He's a defensive minded coach, and he primarily specializes in versatility on the defensive end, not utilizing versatility on the offensive end. That's part of the reason why Min was able to be so free with what he was doing on the offensive end, because there really wasn't that constructive of an offensive set that was sort of putting him in a role. He just sort of could go out there and do stuff. So going for KD, if KD wants to be the impactful offensive player that I believe he apparently wants to be based off of what I see in these tweets and how often he is interacting with these people on Twitter, you need to be a little bit more effective of a high post passer. I think Sengun is a better passer than you. However, I do believe you have the ability to gain more traction on the high post than him as far as a scorer. And with that, you can utilize that to see over the defenses more often and be able to get more quality looks for everybody, especially with you being the primary spacer on these on the Houston Rockets. You can utilize Amin's athleticism and Jabari Smith's cutting ability and Alperen Sengun's interior presence to your advantage, because, I mean, it's sort of flipped backwards, but I mean, I expect significantly more single coverage on KD this season than his time in Phoenix, because I think the offense has more of an identity than Phoenix did. Phoenix was sort of just get it how you could, just get a bucket. Houston, they're smash mouth interior basketball. Jabari Smith is a slasher. Amin Thompson's a slasher. Sengun is an interior presence. Jayshawn Tate is an interior presence. And I think KD can use that to his advantage. If he can somehow change his game to being a little bit more of a facilitator of an offense, while just getting his situations of advantage creation in, like, not seldomly, but not as often as he was hunting for it in Phoenix, I feel like Houston, the sky is the limit for Houston. They just can't beat OKC because OKC ain't even in the stratosphere. But they could get anybody else up out of there. I genuinely believe. But that's just my take on it. And yeah, also, KD, stop talking to these dumbass niggas on Twitter. These niggas don't be knowing what the fuck they be talking about. Cause the nigga that you just like went back and forth with, bro, all the nigga said was you just don't be getting to the rim like that. Like, there's not more to the game than just getting to the rim every single time. Like, I think getting to the rim is very, very important. But it ain't the only thing, especially when you're providing other things in other areas. Like, deducing KD's game to just simply being a sort of just a person that could be able to shoot the ball, but also slash. And then now you looking at him and saying, man, all you do is just take tough shots. KD does way more than that. Like, even I have to give him credit for that. KD is way more than just your prototypical just get a bucket and leave. Like, he's not just a mercenary. He does more. So like, and I feel like KD is not even giving himself enough credit when he does shit like that, because you're allowing niggas to get in your ear telling you that you play a certain style that anybody that watches KD with a genuine eye understands he does his best effort to do more than just score the basketball anytime he wants. That's part of the reason why he passed out of double teams, because he wants to be more than just a scorer.
I will say this though, that nigga is a mess to the highest order.
I mean, he more than he more than that to me.